Okay, this was intermediate traditional staff with Blake and Aaron.
I'm Aaron. And this is Blake, and we are here to pump you up.
Traditional staff's really easy, so we went over a whole bunch of stuff. Went over stuff like just starting out, the fact that you can have hand interaction.
Yay, one beat! And you can do it any part of your body,
yes,
in any direction.
He's doing it as a waist strap to make it super awesome. You can also just go like up and down, side to side. The entire point of this is the fact that there's an interaction between your hand and the staff. Other quick things, and we have like this gigantic list. The fact we went over anti-spin, where if you have two sides, one side's going to go up and down, the other side's going to go side to side. There are two ways to do this. One is behind your back, where for one hand you hold it with your thumb up, goes over, behind your head, out the other side, down, like so. And one should, one should always be going horizontally, the other should always be going vertically. There's the other one that you'll have to demonstrate because I will have forgotten it by now. But that one's behind the head. There's the other one that's behind the shoulder.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Do you want to narrate on how it works?
Starts behind your shoulder. Thumbs up, thumb down. Out with thumb back out again, behind your shoulder again. Back in front of your face. Back up behind your shoulder. And draws across.
Okay.
And now you can do it with two hands.
Yes, and that's the double stabs move. Next thing is point isolations, where you have one hand of your staff. You're going to use your shoulder. You can move it around. You can move around. When you get stuck, you can hold. You can do it with the other hand. So I'm making like two circles that are touching on their tangent. The other awesome thing is you can combine point isolations with anti-spin. So like doing a half circle of each. There are so many tosses. Basically, you can do an underhand toss, and you can do it a small one, or you can do a big one with multiple rotations. You can do an overhand toss, where basically if you just hold it with your thumb up, you throw it up into the air. Actually, that one didn't really work. Throw it into the air and catch it with the other hand, which I'm managing to mess up. There we go. You can do it from, if you do it from a pinwheel, it looks super awesome. Like that. There's also my personal favorite, where if you just hold it on the ground, you can throw it straight up in the air. That's most of the tosses. Blah, blah, blah. There's also palm spin, which if you just hold your staff with your palm pointing upward, open up your hand, go like this. There is also a toss from palm spin. Through the legs. Take your staff, lift up your leg, put the staff through it. Do it with the other leg. Add some spins in between them. You can also do it that is in wall plane. You can also do it in floor plane. So hold the staff out, turn, lift up one leg, put down, lift up the other leg. And it looks cooler when you do it quickly. And I need shorts. You can also do it with jumping over both of them at once. You can also do it if you're going through a pinwheel, it's something called an arabesque, where if you stick your leg out behind you, do that. You can also, in the middle of sticking your leg out, when stuff comes under, turn around. So that's like that. We already kind of went over waist straps, but do you want to explain your all the one move very quickly?
Staff is just the best way to practice poi. So if you're learning waist straps, you just take your staff and you do a one beat around your waist. or you can do it here, or you can do it here, or you can do it here, and these are all the same moves. Or here is the same move. Or you can do your 2-beat anywhere around your body, so that your 2-beat becomes around the world, or becomes shotgun, or becomes windmill, or any of a number of other variations just by moving whatever move you're doing around your body.
Yeah, and for that, also things like it works in between the legs fine, though it looks pretty silly. There's also something where contact people have halos, but what works just as well is the fact that if you just take this, you put it on the back of your neck, you move it over, suddenly, hey, I'm doing a tracer. And it looks just as pretty, and you don't need to do a halo for it. Fountains, the fact that with all of our 2 beats and 3 beats, if we just move them around to different parts of our body, we can get pretty interesting movements. And that can either be wall plane or side plane. Kick-ups, when you drop your stuff on the floor, do not pick it up because that is very, very lame. There are lots of things to do, like push onto your foot and hey. You can also push on in the middle. You can also push on about a third of the way down. You're going to point your knee in and lift, and this is the juggler's one, like that. And Aaron can do it much, much, much better than I can. And there's also the one that I made up that has no finesse but looks really, really cool. Where if you put your foot under about 1/3, you're going to kick straight up. Missed that, but so that works. The fact that you can also, with your stuff is on the ground, you can do a roll to pick it up. You can also do a cartwheel, which I can't do to pick it up. Can you do a cartwheel? Yeah, see if I can do it today.
Last time I ended up just standing on the staff.
Other thing is, Lucky has this amazing picture on Tribe and on one of the Home of Boy video calendar or something or others. But basically what happens is you take your staff, you spin it in one direction, and then your hands move anti-spin to it, and if you have the appropriate exposure, it is a 5-pointed star or however many points you get with your rotation. Practice it in the mirror. As far as I know, he's the only guy who actually gets it to look good.
He does, if I remember correctly, a box with his hands to get the 5 points. It's been a long time. His hands make a square.
Yeah.
And the staff makes the 5 points because there's an extra point because of the other hand.
Is there anything else that we're missing?
I think that's everything.
Yeah, just definitely don't be afraid. Oh yeah, that was our last thing. Don't be afraid just to like have the staff, move it around, because it's all of the pauses mixed in with all of the crazy contact moves or other things like that, that's what makes it interesting. And, oh yeah, personal plug, throw everything, because throwing things is another thing that adds variety to it.
Or move yourself around
or
the staff. It looks really silly doing it this way, but when you throw it in the midst of everything else that you're doing, it actually becomes way less boring than sitting there doing this for a 5-minute performance.
Oh, and then one last thing, since it wasn't covered in the intro class, there's also, when you're doing a 2-beat or a 3-beat, you can go until you can't move your wrist anymore, so you take the staff, you cradle in your elbow. That gives you an extra beat. You can also lock, cradle in your elbow, bring your elbow up to point at the sky, staff goes behind you, you turn, out like that. So you can get 2 extra beats and then extra beats on the way back. Is there anything else?
All of these beats are interchangeable in order and use. This is a 4-beat without the elbow, just using the shoulder in place of the elbow beat. You can do the same in any other variation. Get rid of the wrist beat, the elbow beat, the shoulder beat, put them in different orders because they all stack into each other rather than sequentially.